Some of you may know me as the knife coach. In this video, what I'm going to try to show you is how things that are less than substantial, meaning very light and flimsy, versus things that are very hard, like a stick or a sword, can be used to develop your attributes and your overall abilities through their sort of effect that they have upon your body, how they can make you either work harder or go lighter and make a more realization of your sensitivity, or perhaps work you harder than any of the weapons, maybe like a sword could, because of their nature or their composition. So by saying that, I'll also say that this is known as scarf training. This is different than my bandana DVDs, which we did in a two-part series some time ago. That's more about self-defense, using it in the real world, than what this is. This is about developing you. These could be filed under the lines of self-perfection, where you refine your own abilities, training solo at home and things like that. Some of you enjoy working out. I'll give you something that will work you out big time. So the first thing you have to be able to do is use a stick and be able to perform a figure eight. So a figure eight could be, if you do the Filipino arts, angles 1 and 2, or angles 9 and 10, the upwards figure eight. I'm using a little bit longer stick than normal. It's like a 33 inch, you know, you go with your 18, 25, 28, and then 33. So you get these, and that's not including the small palm stick, the Ulysses Palad. What we're doing there is using it in the palm, and we won't get quite into that. But what we're doing here is just so that you can see the greater picture of what I'm trying to show you. So I want you to make sure that you can do a downwards figure eight or an upwards figure eight. Here's one towards the camera. Here's one from the side. If for some reason you can't see that, I'm going to do the same thing with this shorter stick here and do upwards figure eight and downwards figure eight. Okay, upwards, here, right? All right. So what I'm going to ask you to do is get yourself a very light scarf from wherever you can. These are different than, we'll say, like a bandana. A bandana is a heavy piece of cloth. This, look how it floats. It's very light. You get 2 or 3 of these and you can learn to juggle because they float. They give you more time to learn. So we want the lighter, gauzier, almost see-through type scarf. You don't have to wrap it up or do anything special. What I want you now to do is just to get used to it. Remember, the scarf dance is like a national dance of the Philippines. This is part of our Kali training, is to do scarf training. Why? Because it over-accentuates everything. A heavy stick or a blade ends up pulling me in the direction it goes. I push it. I push that into the object, using the muscles of the arm, the weight of the weapon, and it hits. In this case, like a negative resistance exercise, there's nothing to push. Okay? It's a different thing. So it makes me work harder. So taking something, now remember, we're only using figure eights as the concept to deliver this sort of training so you understand it. You do it with everything. Anything that you know with a stick, you do with your scarf. You do it like a class. Everybody gets one of these in their kit, and that's how you train. A lot of people say, how do you get them cuts and everything in your arm and your deltoids? This, it makes you work hard, really hard, like a big dog. So, I've often asked people, when they're doing the figure eights, can you actually make a figure eight appear before you? Will I see it? And what I get most of the time is something like this. Here, they're doing a figure eight, but that's not what I want. I want to see an 8. I want to see it. So that means work hard. When you're doing that, work hard. Get it on the end here where I have enough to show you. And now, you should start to see a figure 8 popping out in here right as I'm doing this towards the camera. From the side here, see, upwards figure 8, there it is. You should see it, up, 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 up. And I'm telling you, it is hard work. No doubt about it. Many of you who do the Kali know, like first Sagita, downwards figure 8, angle 4, 8, 4, 2, 12. It's a basic training exercise. You could do that. You could say 1, 2, 3, out, down, out, back with your florente. And I would advise you just to do this because it's a great trainer. Let's say an exercise. Pete, come on in. Pete Kautz is here today. Welcome, Pete. He's going to work with me a little bit, and we're going to show you a drill known as parachute, usually done with knives. We're going to pop this out and just let you have a look at it so you can see that you can do a two-man drill with these as well. Okay, so from here, he's striking, and what I'm going to do is come over the top, like that. And there's my thrust, there's his check. He comes over, I come up. This is his cover, see? So, here we go. See how it's working? Across, under, see? That would be just the same as if we were doing this with here, and I better use I'll use this right here, even though it's not a trainer. So I keep the knife closed. So from here, I pass, check, cut him, he cuts me. You see how it works? I pass out of the way, I shoot, I cut him, and hit. Right. So now we just do that with our light weapons here. And we do the same thing from here. I pass, I cut, he cuts. I pass, cut, and he cuts. So anything that you want, meaning sombrada, punya sombrada, anything that you care to do. If you are, let's say, knowing that you can do something like this, you know, your hand exchanges, whatever they may be. Many of you practice doing these. That's great. Those are all counters and things. Well, boy, this also is challenging to push that over and to push that over. The idea here is a workout and to get the line. I can't stress enough to keep the line tight till you get the benefits. And those benefits will mean that whatever you're doing, your figure 8 or your redondo or whatever it is that you're doing, abanicos will all pop out so you can see them in a much more graphic way. Now people say, well, I could do that with a rope as well. A rope is heavy. It's just like a flexible stick. It is not going to provide you the same as this will. Same for kerchief. It's a heavier piece of cloth. We want this light cloth so that you can literally get that happening out there and make that figure 8 happen right in front of you. If you can do that, you've got a pretty tight line. You're going to have a great workout. You're going to start feeling it. Consider scarf training. Maybe read my article on that. I think it'll do you some good. Pete, thank you. Good luck training at home.